You're locked in with the Innovators. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell. What's going on? You locked in with the Innovators YouTube. You already know I got the best interviews right here, man. Shout out to my sponsor, St. Ives Blunts. Make sure to get you one of those. You already know what I'm doing today. I got Annimeanz in the studio. How you doing?
Man, I'm great. I see you one of the very few that pronounces it correctly, man.
You know, I try to do my best to get it right over here.
Man, I appreciate that.
Just to start it off, let the people know where you're from and where they can find you on social media.
You can find me everywhere under Annimeanz. That's Annimeanz, and that's for every single social media outlet. YouTube, Spotify, IG, Facebook, everything Annimeanz.
How did you come up with that name?
Just try not to be cliche. You feel me? It comes from the phrase "any means necessary," but I wanted to give it like a different twist, so I spelt it different, and it's pretty unique. Believe it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I like it for sure.
Dope.
To start off, I gotta ask you. It's a hot topic. How do you feel about the coronavirus?
Oh man, the corona's real, man. I actually caught corona over the summer.
Really?
And I had it for 35 days, and it was rough. It was rough, but by the grace of God, I made it out. But yeah, me, my moms, my engineer, my whole little pretty much inner circle caught it. And
really,
yeah, it was rough, man.
How was that? Like,
it's anything that you can imagine the flu is times 90.
Wow.
So I'm talking about the headaches, because there's two what do you say, like go-to symptoms.
Yeah.
One of them is the headache, and the other one is the lung scenario.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a blessing or not, but I got stuck with the headache one,
opposed to the lung situation.
Yeah,
okay.
And man, the headaches were excruciating. I'm talking about there was a time where I really literally just wanted to like scream out in pain. It was that bad, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
How has it affected you as far as the music?
It didn't really affect the music because I've been performing in this climate for a minute, so we're very, very consistent with content, videos, and just music overall.
Right.
So I had fresh product shit that I was dropping, and so it didn't really hurt me on the music sense, but it definitely takes a toll on your physical, and you can actually they say I think it's 4 to 6 months after you have the virus that it takes your body to fully heal. And
really?
One thing I can say is I do notice a difference in my body from breathing to a lot of other stuff. You feel me?
Did you lose like your sense of taste and all that?
Yes, sir. I did. I lost that for maybe about a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We've been seeing this a lot in the media too. A lot of stuff about police brutality and police attacking people. Is that something that you've experienced, or do you have anything you want to share about police brutality?
That coming up in LA, I feel like that police brutality scenarios is pretty much the norm here. You feel me? But it just seems a little bit more realer, I guess, because it's being put on camera. But I mean, that's been going on for centuries out here. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's not really nothing new. It's a bad scenario because you got to figure, because of the economy and the type of situation that the country's in now, the police are overly stressed or overworked, and then obviously you have people that come from places like ourselves, ghettos, and the tensions are just running high. So it's kind of hard to really avoid it at times because you got people in the ghetto, they're so turned up about police brutality, this, that, and the third. Then you got police that are really actually, scared for their lives and shit. A lot of people don't look at it from both sides of the spectrum. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you got police, they out here working daily. They working in basically war zones at times. You know what I mean? If you're in Chicago, you're in Detroit, places like that. So the stress factor is very high, and it's just a recipe for danger and damage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely. Tell me, how did you grow up? Were your parents around? What was it like growing up in LA for you?
Single parent home. You know what I mean? My pops was in and out of prison my whole life. My mom's was trying to do her best, and eventually she kind of, got into drugs and the street life on her own. But you know, they was always living that life. Like I'm like a second generation of where I come from. So my moms and my pops was already from there. So they just fell into that street life heavy. You know what I'm saying?
And I see you got your son here in the studio. How is it important for you to be in his life?
It's very important, man. You know what I mean? It's not even something that I really think of. It's just like second nature or first nature, I guess, where I know I have to provide for him. I know I have to do things for him. So it's not even a guess for me. You know, I wake up in the morning because he's been with me. He don't live with me, but he's been with me for a couple weeks now. Yeah. So, you know, every day when I wake up, like, my main thing, as soon as I wake up, I brush my teeth, and I'm like, yo, have you ate yet? You know, get to school. Yeah. Because they still doing like a
Zoom?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I got to make sure he's on that. So you know, like I said, it's just something that comes natural, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Like, was your family into gangbanging or any street involvement? Like, what was that like?
Oh, man, I've been burying people from the hood I come from since I was 5 years old. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My pops was from that hood. My mom's is from that hood. All my uncles that are rest in peace were from that hood. Yeah. I have an aunt that's from that hood that got murdered.
Yeah.
Aunt? Excuse me?
You said your aunt?
Yeah, my aunt, okay. Which was my mom's sister. She got murdered in I want to say 90 in a drive-by. And all my cousins, everybody from the same hood. So I'm like I said,
what's the hood? What hood is that?
It's Cudahy 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think about like how much like Mexican, like Hispanic gang culture is tied into the music?
It's not as tied in as a lot of people would assume. Yeah. I think at this point, in the beginning when the Mexican rap scene was newer, I guess there was probably a lot more involvement because the street atmosphere was a lot more different. Yeah. You know, in 2020, like, there's street shit going on, don't get me wrong, and you can still get killed wherever you go, but I feel like this type of street shit is not the same type of street shit that I grew up watching. Yeah. You know, when I grew up in the barrios, it was more there was more structure there and a lot more things that we probably shouldn't talk about, but yeah. You feel me? It was just a lot more structure. There was a lot more consequences in the things that are done. Yeah. And current day, it's I see a lot more, I guess, lack structure, and there's a lot of more different things going on that necessarily wouldn't have been able to go on back then, but they kind of go on now. And it's just another era, man, another era, and younger dudes that are just, you know, doing it their way, I guess. You know,
right. How much do you think that the streets should be involved in music?
I feel like it's anonymous, but at the same time, you know, you shouldn't bring your home life to your workplace.
Right.
But at the same time, like, you know, hip hop it was created in the street, and it's for the street. You know, it's for the oppressed people. That's what hip hop is for. So obviously, the street ties are gonna get entangled in it because the essence of hip hop comes from the blocks that we come from and the struggles, and that's where the stories come from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What was it that made you want to get into making music?
I got a cousin, DJ Luss, that he graduated from Music Institute in Hollywood, right. And I was doing a term, and you know, he just thought it'd be something for me to get into that would occupy my time to keep me from like going back to prison, and sure enough, it did. So right. That's how I got involved in it.
Yeah. And how did people react to you when you first started making music?
Mixed reviews. Because at that moment in time, the hip hop music being made by Chicanos mainly was like, you know, gangbanger cholo type of rap.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily hip hop the way it is now. I think current day the Mexican rap scene is a broader spectrum now.
Yeah.
On a broader spectrum. You know, it's more hip hop infused opposed to back then. It was more of a like cholo street orientated type of vibe.
Yeah.
So you know, I grew up listening to hip hop my whole life, so I kind of, you know, patterned myself after rappers that I grew up listening to. So when I began to rap, even when I wasn't necessarily a seasoned artist yet, I still sounded very seasoned. You know what I'm saying? So, so I've always had certain attention from different crews, and you know, I was a part of Glasses Malone's crew for a lot of years. And, you know, I've done thisis50.com. I've been accepted in a lot of hip hop circles that most conventional Mexican rappers wouldn't be accepted in at that moment in time. But, you know, current day, it's all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know you talked about going to prison, and I wanted to ask you this. You know how, like, nowadays we see, like, a lot of people bragging about going to jail and, like, making it seem like it's the cool thing to do. I'm sure you don't feel that way, but can you explain maybe, like, why do you think that is? That it's like a celebrated thing, you know?
You know, that's just comes with the territory as far as the street life. You know, it's like a, you know, because when you out here in the streets, you got to be the fittest of the fittest. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And only the strong survive and all that shit. And I think that's the ultimate badge. Because when you get behind that wall, you ain't got no more pistols. You ain't got, you know, 30 motherfuckers walking up with you in the club. It's just you and you alone and your manhood. And what you stand for is what you're going to leave behind, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, when you out here in the street life and everybody's looking for that stamp of being hard, that's the ultimate cosign. Yeah. Because you up in there, you doing it by yourself, you catching fades. It's really the ultimate manhood test. You feel me? It's like a gladiator school type of vibe. So, you know, it's just a badge of honor, I believe. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever seen this show called 60 Days In? Are you aware of that? You know what that is?
I think I seen it, and there was like this one part, like this white boy got beat up or something like that in there.
It's like basically where people are like hired to go into the jails, and they're like undercovers. They get a task, and that's what they go in there for. Realistically, do you think people really like? Is that something that you would see in jail? Like, is it hard to spot a person like that in there? Like a rat, like
I think it will be in Cali, because and just to answer your question previous, like I don't believe that prison is a badge of honor.
Yeah.
I actually believe it's a setback in life, but if you do get in there and you have to do some time, I would suggest you educate yourself and use the time wisely. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I stand on that. But as far as what you just asked right now, I think in Cali it's a little different because it's more structured as far as race is concerned.
Yeah. So,
you know, like the blacks are here, the Mexicans are here, the white boys here, and everybody is checking the authenticity of who you really are. You dig? Like, as soon as you walk in, if you're a Mexican, they want to see your paperwork. They want to know who you are. They want to run a make on your name. They want to, you dig what I'm saying? So if you got some type of smut or, you know, something's wrong with you, somebody's gonna find out and they're gonna know who you are. So I think they could pull that off a little better in different states. Yeah. Because the politics are just a little different from what I understand. You know.
Is it really everything is separated by race in prison? Is that true?
Yes, sir. In California, yeah.
Why is that?
I think it eases the tension, believe it or not. You know what I mean? Because when everybody's sticking to their own, there's less disagreements, and whatever disagreements are going on, they're within their own. So you're checking your own. You know, it's like if two black guys get something stolen from them and there's only a Mexican dude around, and they call 1 + 2, they might jump that man. Yeah. And if they jump that man, then guess what? More Mexicans are finna come. So to avoid all that, you know, everybody stays to their own, and when somebody messes up, they get dealt with by their own. And it's just a respect thing. You feel what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
What is your process like for selecting beats?
Really, if it ain't touching me within the first 10 or 15 seconds, I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't do too well with build ups, like, you know what I mean? Unless you got like some special instruments that are like really catching my ear. Yeah. But I pretty much know between 10 to 15 seconds whether I'm fucking with it or not.
Yeah. Are there any producers that you rocking with specifically right now?
Yeah. A dude named Mike D Exclusive.
Yeah, I seen him.
Another dude named DJ Ideal.
Yeah.
him, Tom, my engineer, Rated TG, Tommy Guns.
Yeah.
He's producing a artist called Keon Bell right now that's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know those are my go-to guys right now. Zapata the Ghost, shout out to Zapata the Ghost. Yeah.
And as far as like the lyrics, you freestyling, you writing, what you doing?
I'm not writing on paper, but I'm not freestyling either. Like I structure the raps in my head, and then I go from there. I don't write on paper no longer.
Yeah. No. As far as the new music coming, I see you just dropped a new song, Where I'm From.
Yeah.
What was the mindset when you made that record?
Just to kind of give them something to bump, you know what I mean? Cause my guy over at 400 Summers, he sent the beat over.
Yeah.
And you know, it got that 808 vibe on it and all that, so I thought it was something dope to just you know, cause even though like I guess you could I could call people label me as a conventional lyricist.
Yeah.
But I still like to you know, I touch everything. You know, I'm pretty current as far as the beat selection.
Yeah.
So you know, it had that heavy 808 sound, that LA sound, and I felt like it was something that needed to be heard.
Yeah. You sent me some music. What is that out? Is that out yet? Or that's not out yet? That's exclusive or released. Like, what can the people expect coming soon from you?
Yeah. That's my I had a series called Cut a Hey Dope Boy.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the series that kind of took off for me, where people began to know who I was.
Yeah.
So this is like the third installment, because I was talking. I had an interview with my man from 95.7 in Dago.
Yeah.
Beto Perez, shout out to Beto, and he liked the series a lot, and he was like, "Yo, when you gonna make a 3?"
Yeah.
And I really had no intentions on making a 3.
Why is that?
I just felt like I had said what I needed to say at that moment.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Yo, you need to make a 3 though," and I just kind of sat on the idea. I said, "Yeah, fuck it, why not?" And I was like, one thing about me is I record daily and constantly. So I'm not like one of them guys that just drops a project and just falls back.
Yeah.
So like if I drop a project, I still got like 30 in the chamber. So I'm already picking for the next go around, or I'm putting joints aside. You dig? So
yeah.
I had like maybe 2 joints already put aside.
Yeah.
So I already knew like the vibe.
Yeah.
So I just started feeding off of that.
When is that about to drop?
You know what? I was supposed to drop it on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But I need another record, man. For some reason, that's calling me. So I'm gonna get back in the studio with some guys that I know, and I think I'm gonna throw one more last joint on it, and then I'm looking to put it out probably the second week of this of November. I mean December.
So,
excuse me.
Soon. What is the process for you when you putting the project together?
Really just vibes, you know what I'm saying, and the certain people. Like one thing for me is like I'm very peculiar when I rap. You dig? Like, you know, I just be 100 with you. Like I don't like rappers. You dig? Like as an MC, you know, I don't like rappers.
Right.
You know, and if you're talented, I respect you, but that's probably where it goes. You know, and I'm definitely in competition with every rapper that wants to align themselves with me, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? As far as, you know, better verses, you know, I'm a lyricist. That's just what we do.
Right.
So there's only a certain crew of people that I honestly really enjoy listening myself with. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, I stay true to that formula. So people are always in to see like Big Sick Nasty with me, or my man Flight Mob from Long Beach.
Yeah.
And just cats like that be on the joints with me.
Yeah.
So when I do finally find somebody that they intrigue me by their shit or they flows, you know, you know, I just got a recipe for what I do. You dig?
I think finding the right people to work with is key too, though. You feel me?
Yeah,
especially
for sure.
Loyalty too, though. Rocking with your people that been rocking with you for sure. Can you tell me, like, we hear the music and we see, like, you know, with your experiences, do you ever suffer from, like, PTSD or anything?
Yeah, for sure, man. Believe it or not, that's a big thing in life, man. I think I'm a little traumatic from the COVID experience, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, I can imagine for sure.
Excuse me. You Yeah, motherfucker got the cough right there. Nah, but yeah, I'm a little I'm a little bothered by that scenario. You know what I mean? I found myself kind of being a little bit more secluded after that whole experience.
Yeah.
And really not going out as much. You know, before it was like I was moving with my little crew all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's like I probably don't leave the crib as much as I should,
Yeah.
if I even should. You know, who's to say what the time limit is at this point? But I just feel like it definitely rocked. It fucked me up for a second. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Have you ever taken therapy?
No sir. I'm pretty well put together. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And if you could, say relive your life and maybe not get into certain things that you got into, would you?
I mean, if my life was completely different, I guess I would, but I don't regret anything I've been in life.
Right.
I don't regret the decisions I've made.
Right.
I feel like they were all learning experiences. You know what I mean? I regret certain, and I don't even want to use the word regret because I wish certain scenarios wouldn't have happened the way they happened, but the overall lesson I don't regret. You feel me? And whatever I wish didn't happen happened to somebody else, not me. You feel me? You feel me? Yeah. So, yeah.
What would you say is the most challenging obstacle in your career, and how did you overcome it?
The most challenging obstacle in my career is being a Mexican rapper. And that's just a fact. You know what I mean? I doubt if I'll ever overcome that because we're just in an industry where we're a minority and where our message isn't necessarily being fed through the pipeline like every other rapper's.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's definitely a struggle, but at the same time, if you know how to navigate in your demo and you got talent, eventually you begin to crack those walls. But I've been in it for a minute, and I'm barely really starting to get the recognition that I feel that I deserved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Why do you think it's so hard for Mexican rappers to get that recognition?
I feel like it's just the stigma of a lifestyle that has evolved already, but just that stigma that Hollywood's a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Every time they portray a Chicano, they portray him in a negative light, whether they're a drug dealer or a cholo or a gangbanger, something to that extent. So it doesn't necessarily show growth, and so with non-growth, it doesn't build. And I think a lot of people are they want to see different things. I think with the mainstream music industry, it's a constant cycle of rejuvenation, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just constantly changing. There's a new trend constantly. There's something new. There's a different star every week. And it's just constantly moving. So the people have to keep up with it.
Right.
When it comes to us, that stigma and the image that Hollywood and a lot of other places like to portray is just that same cycle of life constantly just replaying out over and over again, even in 2020. So I think that has a big part to play with it. Another part is I think we just don't have outlets like this outlet.
Yeah.
Where they cater to the artists
Yeah.
that come from that background. You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying? You got a couple of artists like myself that are out here that are making the rounds, but it's not like a swell. You feel me? Like, there's probably like 30 black rappers and there's probably like 5 Mexican rappers that you've interviewed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Are you independent right now? Are you signed?
Independent, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any advice for independent artists?
Yeah, don't be in a rush to attach yourself to brands and labels and all that. You know what I mean? I think the label mentality at this point is a fantasy. You know what I mean? I think people still want to believe that this is 1996 and Puff Daddy's gonna discover you and you're gonna be, that's just not the case no more. You know what I mean? With the internet and all the stuff that information is available instantaneously.
Yeah.
The game has completely changed. You know what I mean? Me and my guy right here, we was just talking about certain artists that were making moves until they signed to a big company, and now we ain't heard of them for about a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you know, when this is what it all boils down to. When you're working off of somebody else's dollar, they have the opportunity and the right to tell you when to move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, somebody like myself, I'm totally independent on my own dollar. Everything you see, I own all my shit. You feel me? Everything.
Yeah.
I give opportunity to artists. You feel me? I sign artists. I've funded artists. You feel me? And you know, sometimes, but the thing with artists is sometimes they don't necessarily work out like that.
Yeah.
You know, I've worked with a few different artists that have minor names or mediocre names, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But you know, when they start to experience that that little bit of achievement and that little bit of success, everybody wants to go their own way.
Yeah.
And me personally, I'm not really a contract type of guy. You know what I mean? I come from the street, so my handshake is my contract. You dig? And
do you think that's always respected?
I'm starting to see that sometimes it isn't, but you know, as a man, I you know, you're gonna stand for some or fall for everything. So you know, I can't let a bad situation change my mind state or how I move. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I gotta just learn how to navigate around that fuck shit.
Yeah.
And keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah. I agree with you. I feel like I've had both of type of deals go down.
Yeah.
With verbal and on paper. I feel like I mean, which like you said though, all you got is your word with me. Like if you can't stick to your word, then I'm cool off you. But sometimes I'm like, it just depends on who you dealing with. You're like, all right, we need to get this all right because I don't know if you're gonna stick to your word if it's not written down.
Yeah, it's definitely hard, man. There's a shortage of legitimate dudes out here right now.
Yeah.
And who knows what that comes from? You know, maybe I guess the OGs. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Me personally, you know that comes from my pops, and like I try to tell my son, you know, be an honest man no matter what. You feel me? Like my one thing about me is like every flaw that I have in this world, whether it's whatever it may be, I try to not have my son with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's say, for instance, I don't know, I have whatever issue I have, fucking a weight problem. You know, I'm on him every day to eat healthy, to keep moving. You know, I just want my child to be a better version of me. Yeah. So, shit, I don't even know where I was going with that. but you know, that just okay. What I'm saying is there's not a lot of people out here that are willing to take that time and talk to a lot of these younger dudes out here. You feel me? You know, when I was younger, I grew up in the crack era. Yeah. So I grew up around a lot of crack dealers. You dig? And you know, the biggest dealers from where I'm from come from my hood. Yeah. So I learned a lot of things from them dudes. And even though people may think it's negative, the overall format of the lessons were really man shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Be honest. Stack your dough. You know, don't go and get you a $50,000 car before you get a crib. Yeah. You know, just real man shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Nah, life's teachers come in many different shapes and forms. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Why do you think that artists are such a target for like people always trying to like kill them and shoot them and rob them? And we've been seeing it constantly in the industry. You know.
You know, because you know, like for instance, in my neighborhood, right? Like I come in Cudahy, California. It's a sanctuary city, right? Right. So illegal immigrants are the norm there, and they flood there because they're safe there. The ICE can't come and get them and shit, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of poverty there. You feel what I'm saying? There's a lot of poverty. There's a lot of broken homes. There's a lot of single parent. You know, single moms or pops doing alcohol because he's working hard, he's frustrated. Yeah. So, you know, when you see people like, let's say for instance, like the dealers when I was older, and we looked up to them. You know, this was the first person I ever seen with a Benz.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't really wear jewelry if I didn't see my big dogs with it.
Yeah.
You know, so we aspire to be like them, but at the same time, there's only a certain amount of people that inspire that can become.
Yeah.
And the rest of the people want to be like that, but they just don't have it in them to be like that.
Yeah.
You know, if they did, then everybody would be a leader, right?
Right.
So, you know, when people see you achieving shit that they want to, but don't have the ability to do, you know, you become a object of envy in their eyes.
Yeah.
And especially, you know, shit. When I was 8, 9 years old, I used to be pushing shopping carts with dudes. I grew up in a hotel, right?
Yeah.
So I'd go with like the kids from the hotel and like push the shopping carts to get the bread. So, and people would like give us like change, you know, 50, 60 cents, $1. And eventually it accumulate up during the day.
Yeah.
So maybe at the end of the day you got like $20, $10.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to use that to go buy your candies or whatever. Yeah. So, you know, I remember even then other kids that lived in the hotels would be jealous of us because they want to have that dough, but they don't want to take that time to invest in it and go get it. You feel what I'm saying? And as you grow older, you know who you are as a child is who you finna be in real life. Yeah. So I think a lot of it has to do with your surroundings. Jealousy is bred in the home, you dig? And it just becomes stronger as people get older, and when they see you out here doing your stuff, or you know, now you shining, you probably got a foreign or whatever it is that you have that people want, and they feel like they can't get it. Most of the time they feel like they want to take it from you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What are your hobbies outside of music?
Shit, I think I all I do is music, believe it or not. I ain't even gonna lie. I would say spending time with my son, but that's not a hobby. You feel? I play a little Xbox. You know what I mean? A little Xbox here and there. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's what's up. Do you believe in aliens or ghosts?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Both.
Yes, sir. Yeah, both.
Why?
I believe in spirits because I'm a you know, my mom was a born again Christian. Yeah. And I grew up, you know, knowing the word to a certain extent, so I understand that you know, souls and you know, this whole existence is not even our true, you know, our true stop, you know. Yeah. Well, we're just here for the time being, and the body's just a vessel until you eventually pass on and meet the Lord, or you know, or the guy downstairs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely believe in that. I believe in aliens because, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You feel me? Like, they just released like some footage where there was like some jets chasing some shit. Yeah. That happened in like 2014 or something like that. Yeah. So.
Nah, that's crazy. Nah, I'm starting to believe in. I think ghosts are real. I'm starting to believe in aliens too, because I'm just like, the world is too big to not.
Right.
We don't know everything. I just feel like we don't know everything.
Yeah, because what they say, there's hundreds and thousands of solar systems.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So this is just a speck in whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
If you could pick yourself to be any animal in the world, what would it be and why?
That's a good one. Let me see. I guess a cheetah, maybe.
Yeah. Why a cheetah?
Cause they fucking shit up and they fast, so I'll fuck you up and then I'm out of here.
What was your first tattoo?
My first tattoo was a tattoo that I don't even have it anymore. It was on my eyebrow.
Oh, for real?
It was very big too. It was like from the end of my eyebrow to my forehead, but I got that when I was like 12 years old.
For real?
Yeah.
How?
Fucking, I was I was in the back of a carport in my hood, and my homie had just came out of the pen, and he had some fucking batteries and a gun put together, you know, and just boom, you know, de volada, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So, well, I ended up going to jail, right? Yeah. I ended up getting caught, you know. I when I was young, I sold on the corner like a lot of crack and shit, and I used to carry guns and shit. So I eventually got caught for that shit. You know, say no to drugs and all that. You know what I'm saying? And they back then they used to give court orders for like young kids that had, you know, gang tattoos. But, you know, you had to be like a certain age, and I fit that description. So they took it off from me. So, yeah, I don't even have that tattoo no more.
What, they like laser removed it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. I still got scars from some of that shit, too. You won't see it now because my arm's sleeved up, but I have scars right here from, because I had other tattoos that they took off all of them.
And what? It's no choice? So they be like, hey.
No, it's a court order thing. Like, so if you don't do it, they won't let you out.
Damn.
Or I think you got to do the max of your time or something. This juvenile shit, though. Yeah.
That's crazy. I ain't never heard it like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's back when they had like the YAs. You know, I was in YA too and shit, but they closed a lot of that shit down now.
Yeah. What's your favorite food spot right now?
I don't know, man. I'm big on hibachi right now. I like the hibachi truck. I think that's what it's called. Teo.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever been there in Hollywood. They say I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it's
I've been to Bitty Bachi. Teo's another one.
Yeah, Teo is it's like fine dining Asian type vibe. You know?
Yeah, I gotta try that one out too.
Yeah. That it's TAO.
Yeah.
So check it out. It's dope.
How do you feel about beef? Have you ever had a beef? Is rap beef real? What do you think?
Yeah. I've been in a lot of as far as rap beefs. Beef real all the way around. You know, I got bullet holes and shit to prove that, right?
Yeah.
You know, in gang life, beef is very real. But as far as rap, yeah, that shit is real too, man. You know, I've had a few battles, but nothing that's really. Well, no, that's not true because I didn't have to snatch up a couple DJs.
Yeah.
Couple producers I had to put hands on.
Yeah.
You know. I'm not even bragging. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? But nah, it can definitely get real depending on who you're at it with. You know what I'm saying? You know, the cool part about it is a lot of these dudes wanna beef now to get views and shit.
Yeah.
And don't realize that it's like, you know, me personally, like I'm not a dude that beefs and shit. I'm that's not my MO, but I'll address it fast.
Yeah.
You feel me? And when people start to talk physical, like I come out, you know what I mean? And I'm definitely with all that. You feel me?
Yeah.
And you know, that's not to brag about it either, but at the same time, like I just kind of feel like if you're making these threats and I see you in public, the first thing I'm thinking is you making these threats. You feel me? So you know, and then on top of that, you know, we out here wearing big jewelry, we in nice cars.
Yeah.
So you just got to take certain, you know, when you out here having shit like that, the threat level assessment becomes a little more realer.
Yeah.
Because now you're assessing beef differently. You're like, man, I got bands around my neck. You feel what I'm saying? I'm in something nice.
Yeah.
Motherfucker might try to take my shit.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So the assessment gets more realer because it's not, well, maybe I need to come out here and you know, move before he. It's just a lot of shit that can be misconstrued. It gets dangerous fast. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying for sure. Do you believe when an artist gets popping, they should move away from their city?
Yeah, no. You know what? I definitely think you shouldn't be accessible as much as you were before. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I was in my hood this past weekend giving away turkeys.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Cut A Youth Foundation. I pitched in and, you know, we fed a lot of families. You know what I mean? We gave turkeys back to the hood and shit.
Right.
And, you know, it was dope to see the people and shit and all that. But you definitely, it gets a little dangerous, man. Because like I said, you know, you got them people that never went nowhere that are watching you. And the cool part about it is some of these people from your own block, you dig? And they just not feeling it. You know what I mean? So a wise man knows when to make a move and when not to. You know, it ain't about being scared. It ain't about being none of that.
Yeah.
It's about being smart and not walking into stupid shit. So, if you have the ability to get away, I think you should. You feel what I'm saying? Because, I mean, look what happened in Nipsey.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not. And that's with the utmost respect. But look what happened to that man. You feel me? He got gunned down in his own hood.
Yeah.
Where he sold. You know, it's just shit like that happens, bro, because people really be hating out here. People is mad. You know what I mean? It's 2020. Yeah. There's a pandemic. Motherfuckers ain't eating. Yeah. You know what I mean? They see you pulling up. You got chains. You on heavy. Yeah. You know, it's just it's not the time. You feel me? So I feel like when you start to see a different lifestyle, you have to elevate, bro. It just makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. What is the biggest lesson you've learned in the industry so far?
There is no friends in this industry. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? You could find one or two good dudes out here. Yeah. And if you do, you blessed and you lucky to find colleagues that eventually become friends, because everybody's a colleague to begin with. You dig? But the game is just so cutthroat, and you know, people are willing to sell you out at the drop of a dime to further they self.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know, you just got to be real selective on who you fuck with, and you know, you can't even be a part of my, you know, you can't unless I take interest in you and want to bring you into my circumference. The same 10 dudes been around me for the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
That's loyalty for sure.
Yeah.
For my final question, I want to ask you, what advice would you give to the younger you?
Man, work hard and earn everything every step of the way. You know what I'm saying? Get your own for real. And empower your people, man. Empower your boys. Yeah. Whoever you got around you. I always tell. One thing I learned from a dude named Gorilla Black. He told me he never made a man who made $1 million by himself. Yeah. So I say that to say this is, you know, take care of your people, your loyal people that's around you. Make sure that they eat just as good as you, if not, you know what I mean? And because that's a big part of loyalty is honoring the time that people put in for you.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, my financial situation may be a little bit better than my guys. Yeah. But at the same time, they not going without or they not experiencing what I'm experiencing, because I appreciate the things that they're there for me for. You dig? Like, you know, whether it's my cousin coming out and doing background work for me while I'm running a video, or my man sick riding with me to go pick up some T-shirts, or you know, just that extra backbone that they giving me. Yeah. So I make sure that me personally, I try to and not to even say I'm not on and I don't even have crazy dough like that, but in my come up as a rapper, I've always included my close dogs. Yeah. And every experience I've experienced in the game, whether, you know, wherever it is, I've done a lot, been blessed to do a lot of things. They've been right there with me to experience that.
Exactly.
And I think that's a big thing. Is just showing your people you appreciate them, and that's what keeps loyalty strong, because, you know, nobody wants to be left behind, and sometimes when people do get left behind or they feel like they're being left behind, it starts to build animosity. You know what I mean? And a lot of times animosity can be worked out by just having a conversation or realizing that, hey, you know what, maybe I didn't have enough consideration for my man that's been there with me 10 years. Yeah. And you know, I got fucking 20 chains. Why I ain't gave him one yet? Just because he's my dog. You dig what I'm saying? But at the same time, you can't spoil niggas either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I got what you're saying for sure. You got any final words for the people before you get out of here?
Oh man, just check me out. Cut a Hate Dope Boy 3 is about to be out no later than Christmas, but it's coming out for sure. We got a new video out right now called Facts. Hit me up on iTunes, Spotify, everything. Annimeanz, ANNIMEANZ. Shout out to my man Big Sick Nasty, Andrew John, Flight Mob, Gorilla Cinema, my camera people, everybody that fuck with First Class. Yeah. It's the first, you already know.
Hell yeah. Annimeanz, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're locked in with the Innovators. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell.